How to start calisthenics with no equipment from home. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you 3 basic calisthenics skills. They are very easy and you don't need anything, any equipment or anything. You can do them at home or at any calisthenics park, doesn't really matter. Actually, these 3 skills or moves are also good for other disciplines like breaking or like yoga. They are not strictly just calisthenics. The first one is the crow pose. How to do it? You can start in 2 ways. The first one, you can sit in this position like I'm doing now. Spread your knees a little bit and place your elbows on your knees. Not the tip of your elbow, but more like the tricep area. So the space you have between your tricep and the tip of your elbow is this spot here. My hands can be facing forward or can face a little bit diagonally 45 degrees in this way. I prefer to place them forward. Spread your fingers apart so you have a little bit more stability and then lift up your butt. While you lift up your butt, move forward with your weight and try to lift up the weight of your feet very gradually and very slowly. So from here, push up, lift your hips up, move forward, and as you can see, I have very little weight now on my feet. Then you can try to lift up one foot and then the other one. If you feel like having some weight on your arms, this is a very good sign. If you don't feel any weight at all, you should lean forward more. Once you get comfortable with this position, start feeling the weight on your arms. Try to lift both feet off the floor very slowly. Don't jump, don't do it too fast, but do it slowly. If you fall, try to roll forward. Try to not just fall straight on your back, but try to make your back rounded and roll forward. Lift very slowly, move forward. Lift up one foot, maybe then the other one, and then one foot at a time, move both of your feet up in the air. And this is the crow pose. The stability in this position is pretty easy. You just need a little bit of shoulder strength, but not that much actually. The second way you can start a crow pose is from your head, from the headstand. But if you cannot do a headstand, I don't recommend this way. If you can do a headstand already, you can just do the same start. So starting with your elbows on your knees, lean forward, then go to your head like this, lift up your feet, and from here we are gonna roll backwards in this direction and we're gonna slowly lift up our head. Feel the strength on your arms. Don't do it too fast. So first I wanna push and slowly remove my head and find the balance and maintain the balance. In my opinion, starting in this way from the head is a little bit harder, and I recommend doing it only if you're very good in headstand, but if not, just start in the normal way without using your head. Try to aim to hold it at least 5 seconds for the first times, if possible, and then gradually try to increase to more than 10 seconds. Even more than 20 seconds actually would be very good. Once you have a very good control over this pose, you can try some variations. So for example, from the crow pose, from here, you can straighten one leg like this, go back to the crow pose, straighten the other leg like this, go back to the crow pose. Or if you can do handstand already, you can try to push your legs up and try to push into a headstand. At first, use your legs to help yourself. So this is a little bit more advanced because it's almost like doing a handstand push-up. But if you're strong already, you can try that. So from here, use your legs to push backwards and to push up. So like this and push. At first, you don't need to hold a handstand, you just can push up and lift yourself up, but if possible, then try to hold the handstand at the end. Second skill to learn, the elbow lever. Also, this one is pretty easy, you don't need too much strength, you need a little bit of control and stability. This time, we're gonna place both of our elbows on our stomach. So, on the side of the belly button, kinda like in this area here and this area here. This time, your hands are gonna face to the side, not forward, but to the side. How to start? Place your hands facing the side like this. Go in a kind of like a push-up position. You can spread your legs a little bit. I think it's gonna be easier. And lean forward and bend your arms until your elbows are gonna touch your stomach. Bend your arms, lean forward, and take off your feet in this way. You can spread your legs, or you can be completely straight with your legs like this. If you are completely straight with your legs, if you contract your glutes muscle, the position is gonna be a little better. It's gonna feel a little bit more solid. Remember to lean forward. If you cannot really find a good position, try to change the placement of your hands a little bit. So if you cannot find a good spot, maybe you're placing your hands too far away, try to make them closer together and try to do it again. And make sure when you start to not start like this, but to start with your legs extended and leaning forward. Once you get comfortable with this position, you can evolve it and you can practice it on one arm only, but supporting yourself a little bit with the other arm or with the fingertips of your hand, and then gradually removing your fingers off the floor until you do it with one arm only. In breaking, we call this turtle freeze. I think in other disciplines it's called croc. With my left hand, it's gonna look like this. So the placement this time is gonna be left hand facing the side, right arm is gonna go a little bit more to the front, and you can face forward with the right arm, like this. So the left elbow is gonna place in the same position, in the same spot as the previous position. And from here, lift up your legs. To make it more advanced, you can straighten this arm and only use the fingertips, like this. And try it on the other side as well. Third movement, L-sit. This one, I think it may be a little bit harder than the previous two because it involves a little bit of flexibility. How to start? You just sit on the floor in this way, legs straight. The amount of flexibility you need for an L-sit, I would say you should be able to touch your feet with your legs straight in this position. If you cannot, you will have hard time doing an L-sit, but you can still practice it actually. You just need something elevated so your legs can stay a little bit lower. Or, second option, you can bend your legs a little bit and you can do it starting from here, for example, or starting like this instead of starting with your legs completely straight. But I'm gonna show you the normal way with the legs straight. You sit here, you place your hands to the side, facing sideways. Some people like to face forward, up to you actually. I like to face sideways. I feel more comfortable with my wrists. And from here, you have to push your shoulders down and lift up your butt. So from here, I'm gonna push my shoulders down, pump, and I'm gonna lift up my butt. From here, I'm gonna do a few steps backwards. So I'm gonna end up, I'm gonna show you from the side, lift up, I'm gonna do a few steps backwards. I'm gonna arrive with my butt a little bit more backwards than my arms. From here, you can lift up only one leg and then lift up only the second leg. If it's too hard, bend, bend, and just do this. If you feel comfortable, try to lift up both feet off the floor. Here, and lift, and hold. The arms are completely straight and the shoulders needs to push down. If you don't push down your shoulders, you will not have enough space to lift your butt off the floor. Especially if you have short arms, it's gonna be very difficult to lift your butt off the floor if you don't push down your shoulders. So you really need to push your shoulders down like this and then lift up your feet. To make it more advanced, you just can try to lift your feet up in the air higher. In this way, from an L-sit, it's gonna become a V-sit. The higher you go with your feet, the more advanced will be the position. And it can even become something else called E-sit if you stay completely vertical with your legs, or it can become even a manna if you also start to lift up your hips off the floor. But this is gonna be very advanced. So let's just start from an L-sit, and you can try to lift up your feet more in this way maybe. This is a very good exercise for your shoulder strength and for your core strength, and also for your mobility as well. So I really recommend practicing this one. You can also try to combine these three skills together. For example, going from a crow pose to a L-sit and then to a elbow lever. So from here, crow pose, L-sit, and elbow lever. The transition is a little bit hard here on the floor. If you have some small parallel bars, it's going to be a little bit easier. You have more space to connect the movements, but it's also a good exercise to practice it on the floor. So once you learn these skills, I really recommend playing with them and trying to combine them. Also, it's going to be way more fun. If you need more help to learn new cool skills, check out the coaching plans I offer. I will leave the link in the description. And see you next time with a new tutorial. Yo ninjas!